Fawcett, top of the left circle, loads and fires, scores! As he rips that puck into the top corner from just outside the left circle. Face-off is won by Everett as it's chipped out by Van Harden. Short-handed breakaway, here he comes, backhander, great save by Hutchison as he sticks with him. Hamilton on the power play for Regina. Nata McNutt, right point, down low. Near side, Julian Mays. Centering pass, stop, 2 rebound, scores! Caden Brown against his former team in his 250th WHL match. Now back at the line, Deschamps. Centering pass, scores! Mathis Paul with his 3rd of the season on a centering pass in front, and Paul gets rewarded. Lunik lost it, right corner, Mays in front, Liam Pugh scores! Liam Pugh with his 2nd of the season. Mays back to Hamilton at the near boards, to the line, McNutt, Hamilton, one-timer stop, rebound in front, scores! Ruslan Karimov with his 3rd of the season for the Regina Pats. Now brought out to center by Caffey, he'll get leveled at center ice by Jonas Cohn. Vanek poked away by Durkach. Fawcett out to center. Right side over the line for the Pats. He'll cut into the middle, loading up. He shoots, scores! Keats Fawcett back into the lineup with a splash. And he ties the WHL lead in goals this year with his 18th of the season.
Welcome to Patscast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. It's episode 218. It's November 30th. It's a cold night. How we do tonight, Kev?
Other than being cold, I'm okay.
Yeah, doing all right.
That was a tough week.
That was a tough week.
Tough week to be a Pats fan.
Yeah, that. I mean, the first half of the trip was okay. Whatever, 3 losses, decent games, but the injuries kind of hampered this team, and you're playing a couple of the better teams out of the 6.
The 2 best teams in the U.S. division.
6, and then the worst one, but that didn't help the Pats at all.
Definitely not.
That was a rough week. Haven't had a week like that in, I don't know, a real long time.
Well, 6 losses in a row to the States. Haven't won in the States in like 3 seasons. So it's like
it's 2 seasons in a row we haven't won in the States.
Rough. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I don't, there isn't much to say about these games at all, really. Like, I mean, Everett just wasn't good even from the get-go.
Nope.
I mean, Everett's just good, right? I think at one point you text me, Everett's really good and the Pats are playing great, and that's not a great recipe for success.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, like it was not great at all. Like I don't even know what to say about these games. Like, it just, if you didn't watch them, yeah, like
you didn't miss much.
You didn't miss anything, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but like, yeah, like
it was not good. It was not a good 3 games. It was
a
very bad 3 games.
I mean,
other than the first bit of the Wenatchee game.
Yeah, I was just supposed to say the first period of the Wenatchee game was good, and then the second period happened, and then that was it. 6 goals in a period. I can't remember the last time I seen 6 goals in a period
it's
from
been
one
a few
team.
years.
Yeah, right.
For the Pats, anyway, involving the Pats, it's been a few years.
And like, yeah, they had the short lineup in Portland. They were playing 10-6 with a defenseman playing forward. And like, so they come back the next night in Wenatchee, and the lineup's pretty much full. You're playing, I think they're playing 11-7, and
a lot of wounded veteran guys playing.
Guys were banged up, but I was like, okay, there's some fight here, in the first period. I thought,
first period, I'm like, hey, we have a chance.
Good. And they look good. And then, yeah,
and like you said, the second period happened.
Yeah,
I really don't even, I have nothing else to really say. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, kind of standouts. I thought in the last 2 games, I thought Liam Pugh looked really good playing with Mays, playing, some top line minutes, because he was playing the top line. Like, I thought he stood out, man. He had a lot of good chances. He could have had multiple goals in both games. I mean, there wasn't much positive to say about this week, but like, I mean, it's not on the goalies either. I mean, sure, there's a couple of them they wanted back in the games, but like,
But when you're
what's a
hung out to
save?
dry, a lot
I
of
know that's what I
times,
say. What's a couple saves here and there because they lost by 5 goals in every game.
yeah.
It's unfortunate, and yeah, so, but yeah,
Like I said, I really don't have much else to say. Like
no,
I don't want to sit here and just pick the team apart because it was a bad week. I
yeah,
don't
and
want
I
to do
mean
that.
it's
So it's like, people that watched will understand why. People that
yeah,
listened will probably understand why. People that didn't, they have their opinions and their everything's
yeah.
blowing up again.
Yeah, I know it is. I mean, they were playing so well coming into this road trip, and unfortunately, that maybe they take a step or two back.
My big concern is that this road trip will carry over when they
Yeah,
get
hopefully it
back.
doesn't snowball, right? I guess it all depends on how healthy they can get in this week off until the next game on Friday at home here. But that's kind of the thing. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't snowball. Hopefully they can put a halt to it. I mean, they got a decent Brandon team, and they haven't seen Saskatoon yet, a pretty decent Saskatoon team. So it's not like they get a couple easier games here. It's no game in this league is easy, right? So
We found that out especially against Wenatchee. Like
yeah, exactly,
the
right.
worst team in the conference, like blew us apart in
Steamrolled
the
them.
second period of
Yeah,
that game. It's like
yeah,
got to play 60 minutes.
um,
And sometimes you can play 58 or whatever and still win, but
yeah.
you play 20 and you get smashed.
Um, one thing in the Everett game, both power plays were 100%, and I was like, oh, I want to see I want to see this game end with both power plays um going 100%, but uh they both got a late power play and they didn't score on it, so it was 2 for 3 and 4 for 5, but that would have been kind of funny. No PK whatsoever in that game.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I mean, Portland, they had 52 shots. Like, that's wild. The Wenatchee game was 26-26, but there was some missed shots in that game. You said twice that they scored a goal. They didn't
Yeah,
count a
two
shot.
times when actually scored and they didn't count as shots. So it's like
Yeah.
unless they counted it after, I don't know what they did,
Yeah.
but the shot clock on the screen is like seemed a little off. But
Well, then the Wenatchee broadcast was not good. Not good at
that
all.
camera angle or angles, if you want to call them angles, oh man, I had to look away from the screen multiple times because I felt like I was
Well,
going to fall into the screen.
yeah, you get nauseous. Like, it was like
You're from the
getting,
rafters.
well, yeah, and it was all jiggly and like back and forth and up and down and in and out, and like, and then they had like their, I think it was on a power play. They were using the end cam from the other end.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
it
the
was
weirdest.
weird. And like, yeah, it was yeah, making me nauseous. Like, it was getting like
Well,
ro-
to be fair, it is their first year doing this stuff, so I guess they got to try to figure that out. I
first
know
year,
it's
isn't it like their third year?
well, the first year with Victory Plus,
I
probably
guess
getting an
so.
actual
Yeah.
broadcast going on. So
Because what was it the first year that they were there? Like, they had that high angle, and then
the very,
this,
very high angle.
yeah. So this year they used that angle, but they used the lower angle as well in the mid part of the ice. But then they used these end corners.
those end the yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
and like, then the replay, they videoed this goal celebration and do all that, and then the puck would drop, and I thought the video glitched, and I was like, how did they go from one puck was in one end to the other end? And then I realized, oh, it's a replay of the goal that just
yeah.
happened. So then they'd play the goal replay during the action, and then they'd cut back to the action, and like
Well, they
no information, like not
yeah, they
saying
could
here's
have
a
put like a
replay.
replay on the screen or something like that.
Yeah, it was just literally the video would just cut,
Would have
and
been
I was
great.
like, oh, that's
But
weird. What happened there?
oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
but
they've
yeah,
got some
I
work
literally had
to
to
do
turn
there.
away a few times because it was just
Yeah,
I felt like I was gonna fall over watching it. Just
yeah,
how it moved back and forth. It was weird.
it was not good. I mean, I think we have a pretty good. If you do watch the Regina home games, I think that's got to be one of the better broadcasts in the league as a whole. The whole U.S. division is probably on most fronts subpar. Like Spokane, you don't get replays, and yeah, just not very
Sometimes you
good.
get replays.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
sometimes, but most things not. And
What did
yeah,
you
it
think of
was.
Portland's board ads or
Yes,
their
they're still
electronic
pretty meta.
boards?
I didn't notice it once the game was going on. You don't notice it,
Yeah,
but
because they
like,
don't move when the game's going.
yeah, but like they had the lights out right before. they came like at the first puck drop or coming back out of the intermission, they had all the lights off and just the board ads on, and I thought that looked pretty cool.
It
Like,
did
just
look very cool.
so, but yeah, obviously they spent some money. Obviously, that's the only one in the league, I think, with those boards.
I think there's only like 3 or 4 rinks in the whole country, in like
Okay,
North America, that have those boards. So
okay, all right then.
I
Yeah,
was told they put like 50 million bucks into that rink,
wow,
renovated a whole bunch of stuff, put the boards
that's
in and stuff.
that's an
So
older rink too, right?
yeah,
So, I mean, they don't play at the Moda Center anymore. It seems like that, anyways. They haven't. I don't think they played there in a couple seasons now, but they'd only played
maybe
there
that's why
once
they
or
put that much
twice.
money into the rink, just to make it their own.
Yeah, exactly right. So, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. They looked pretty neat. But yeah, with all the lights on, you don't notice that they're lit up during play. But
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know what else to say. Like the cowbells in Everett, that was loud, just constant, right? Like oh,
cowbells in the last 3 games were kind of loud. Seems like it's a
it's a
it's a
thing.
U.S. thing. They
Yeah.
tried that here back in the 90s. They tried to get the cowbells going here, but it didn't catch on. Everybody here is too critical of everything to ring bells because you might get kicked out if you make too much noise.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing with the U.S. crowds. Like they make noise all the time. They don't wait for something good to happen. They're cheering, hooting, and hollering, and like that atmosphere in Seattle was wild, right? Like it, like sold out place,
Well, it was
and
teddy bear toss too, so that
that
there's
too. Yeah,
anticipation for that first goal and just kind
that
of
too.
carried
Yeah.
over.
What was the attendance? I think the attendance was pretty good. 4,000 in Portland, and Everett had, I think, a pretty good crowd as well. It was 58. So yeah, pretty good. And then Wenatchee was only like 23. So you definitely tell the atmosphere wasn't as good there, um, but as a whole, the atmosphere in the U.S. division, I think, is pretty good.
Totally different than here
Yeah, 100%.
in Canada, because everybody here sits in armchair GMs, armchair coaches.
Yeah,
Down there, they just cheer.
they're just there for entertainment, right? They're just
Yep.
there to enjoy the game and have fun. Yeah, and like you said, we're way too critical here in this country. But
And then, like I said, in some rinks, if you make noise, you can get in trouble. So a lot of people just sit on their hands, like, "Hey, we scored! Yay! Clap, clap,
yeah.
clap, done."
Anyways, yeah. So I don't know what else you got to say. I know we were like,
I'm just glad
what?
it's over,
Yeah, over
and
and
there's
done with.
still over half the season left for them to hopefully turn it around,
Yeah, I mean,
get
doesn't.
right the ship, get back on the track, and go
Mhm.
from there. Because we know they can play.
Yeah, maybe getting back home and getting comfortable at home here will get the back of the groove. So yeah, they kind of dropped down to ninth. They're tied with Red Deer. Red Deer does have 3 games in hand. Brandon has 4 games in hand and 2 points up on them. And then their Lethbridge is behind them by 2 points. So they're kind of right there battling for that last playoff spot. But like I said, lots of time to get back into it.
Just hopefully it goes up and not down. That's all.
Yeah,
That's my
hopefully, like I
worry.
said, this doesn't snowball. They can get healthy over this next week ish, and get back on track, back in the groove the way they were playing before. And like, I mean, those first 3 games in the road trip, they didn't look bad at all. They were close
No,
games, 1 goal games, and then like I said, the injuries kind of hit them, and that the key guys, right? Like when you got Fawcett and Brown missing, like
yeah,
two top 5 goal scorers in the league,
exactly.
that's a tough ask for any team, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, Brown comes back, scores a goal. Fawcett comes back, scores a goal, right? Like in each of the games after they were out. So, but yeah, it's tough. But what can you do? Live to fight another day. Hopefully, they move on and
hopefully you do
keep
fight
going.
another day.
Yeah. So, yeah, we knew we weren't going to have much to talk about. So we got some interviews from Dante that he used on the road. So if you weren't listening or weren't watching, we got some decent interviews to throw in here to make this episode, I don't know, something to listen to anyways, right? Um, so we got interviews from Brown, Egland, Pugh, and Pearce. So kind of listen to those guys. They kind of talk about kind of what's going on. Obviously, Pearce is new, so to the team, I know we'll probably try to get him on the show soon, being an older guy and a new guy. So But yeah, I don't think you've listened to these yet, have you, Kevin?
A couple of them I have. Yeah.
You did? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't know. They just kind of, talk about a little bit about their season and a little bit about the road trip and stuff and how it's gone. And obviously it hasn't gone the greatest, but yeah, Dante just delves into those guys and obviously talks to Pearce about the US, kind of experience and how he's experienced it being there, and then obviously coming to Regina and then heading right back out. So that was kind of interesting play there. But yeah, if you got nothing else, we'll go into these interviews, and that's about it. Hey.
Yep.
Chatting with Regina Pats veteran forward Caden Brown as this road trip continues with game number 5 of this 6-game road trip, as the Pats' next stop is here in Portland, Oregon, as they get ready to take on the Portland Winterhawks. But Caden Brown picked up a goal in his 250th WHL game. Just take me back 5 years ago, drafted in 2020 by the Prince George Cougars in the first round. What's been this journey like for you? How gratifying does it feel to get to 250 games? That's a number that not too many WHL players get to.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've done it in PG, Everett, and Regina combined, and yeah, like you said, 250 games is a lot, and it's been a long road, and it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
You've played, obviously you already mentioned, for a lot of different organizations, your last stop being here with the Regina Pats. But in order to play 250 games from age 16 all the way until now, you have to be durable, you have to stay healthy. I know you had some injuries in your 18-year-old year with the Everett Silvertips, but relatively speaking, I know you're banged up a little bit right now, but I mean, is that something to look back on and say, like, hey, it's pretty cool that I've had the chance to be healthy over the course of my career for the most part?
Yeah, I'm grateful. I mean, I've had, knock on wood, but I've had one pretty bad injury, and for the most part been healthy, and I'm grateful for that. Not a lot of guys are able to play 67, 68 games in a season. I've done that multiple times, and yeah, I'm just hoping I can do that again this year.
You scored a big goal against your former team in Everett against the Silvertips. That was the first time back in that rank since being traded to the Regina Pats. You've played your former team before a couple of times. You have a chance to do it again against Prince George later on this season in Regina. But, was it neat? Did you have any extra motivation playing against your former team the other night?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since the trade, but it's definitely one I've been looking forward to, as I think most guys would. I think... yeah, like I said, it's just it was one I was looking forward to for sure. I wish we could have pulled out a win, but yeah, it was nice to get back in Everett and see the crowd, the cowbells, and
oh yeah,
even as an away team, I think that's a pretty fun place to play. So,
well, we're here in Portland in the Coliseum. This is an arena or a stadium that holds a lot of history. This is actually where Michael Jordan won a NBA championship against the Chicago Bulls, which obviously holds a lot of history. A lot of championships have been won in this rink with the Portland Winterhawks, but you've had some deep playoff battles as a member of Prince George and Everett against Portland. Maybe take us back down memory lane. Explain some of the long-time battles that you have had personally with the Portland Winterhawks.
Yeah, I mean, in PG, our 16-year-old year, we played them in the playoffs, and that was a fun series. It was kind of it was almost like a coming out party for myself. I think that's kind of when I gained some confidence. I played really well in that series, and yeah, so I mean, that's kind of my best memory if you're in Portland, was that 16-year-old year, my first playoff series, and kind of getting to come in here and get a taste of the playoffs. And obviously my time in Everett, it's pretty big rivalry with Portland, so those are always fun games as well.
So what makes the Portland Winterhawks such a tough team to play against, given how many games you've played against them and how much experience you've had not only in the regular season but in playoff action against Portland?
They have a lot of firepower. I think that you got to be ready for their offense. They make a lot of high risk plays, but you can also capitalize on them. I think the way they play is kind of unorthodox at times, but yeah, that's what they're known for, and I think as long as we're prepared for it, we'll be good.
Speaking with Caden Brown of the Regina Pats, now reaching 18 goals or more for the third time in your WHL career, and this time it's coming early on in the 2025-26 season, so you're well on your way to reaching the 20-goal mark for the first time in your WHL career. How satisfied have you been with your early success so far this season and having a chance to, surpass your career high in goals?
Yeah, I think we've talked about it a couple times. I had big goals going into the off season and coming into this year as a 20-year-old, and I mean, I got a long way to go still, but yeah, like you said, I'm happy with the way I'm playing and the way things are going, but still lots of work to do, and we need to get back in the win column, get back in the playoffs. So yeah, starts tomorrow in Portland.
You also lead the Pats with 12 power play points this year. Yourself and Keats Fawcett are tied for the team lead with 8 power play goals this season. Why has the power play been so crucial for this team this season? Went 2 for 3 on the power play last game. I mean, you're one of the top teams on the man advantage. I think 6th in the Western Hockey League coming into today's game. So just tell us about, your role on the power play. It seems like you're scoring a lot of goals in front of the net, and why everything's been clicking up front.
Yeah, I think I've kind of found myself getting some bounces in front, and I think the more I'm going there, the more the puck's finding me and I'm scoring. So that's been good. And like you said, I think we're having success because we have some top-end guys that can put the puck in the net. And I've said it over and over again, but that's what we're capable of, and we knew we were going to be able to do that going into this year. So
when I look at the ways you've scored so far this season, and I know 18 goals is a lot to track, but I've seen you score a lot of goals in front of the net within 5 to 10 feet away from the blue paint, which is like goal scorers need to find their goals there. But you also have the ability to score goals from the top of the circle, etc. You've picked up a few goals that way. But I don't know, like I'm just kind of thinking in my head, like I feel like a lot of your goals have come like right in front of the net on the power play. Was that something that you've thought about, especially on the power play and stuff like that, is to go to the net, go to the dirty areas? I mean, the last 2 goals that you've scored on this road trip, by the way, have been like right in front of the net, even going back to Spokane as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's where goals are scored. It's where the goals translate in all levels, and no matter what level you play at, the puck's going to be in front of the net a lot. So the more you get there, it's not even just for myself. The more our team gets there, the more goals we're going to score. So I think that if we look at that and learn from it, I think that if we get to the net and get gritty and get inside the other team's defenseman, we'll be good. We'll be scoring some goals.
Keats Fawcett as well. I mean, you guys are going back and forth for the team lead in goals. I mean, you look at last night in the first period, Fawcett scores the tying goal, and then all of a sudden he's tied with you for 17 goals, and then you score a second period goal, and like every single game, like you guys are going back and forth right now. Do you kind of joke around about it to see on who maybe could lead the team in goals this year?
I mean, not really. I'm happy for him. I hope he scores 40, 50 goals this year, and every time he scores, I'm pumped for him. So, I mean, yeah, a little joke here and there, but it's fall friendly, and I don't really care, obviously. So, yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy talking about it on the broadcast. It's like every game, it's like, all right, Fawcett ties Caden Brown for the team lead, and then all of a sudden you score. I'm like, okay, Brown got, passes Fawcett for the team lead as well. Last question before I let you go. I just wanted to ask, how you've improved from the first time you scored, close to 20 goals with the Prince George Cougars. That would have been in your 17-year-old season, and then now that you're, close to surpassing that total this time. So just maybe tell us a little bit about your improvement over the last 3 or 4 years.
I think my confidence is at an all-time high right now. I've put a lot of work into that, and my mindset is really good. I've got confidence in myself and my teammates, and yeah, I think that, and I also believe my skating's come a long way. I think I've picked up a step this year, and yeah, I mean, I'm scoring a lot of goals in front of the net, but I'm also getting there. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, 250 games is a great accomplishment. Congratulations, Caden. I'm hoping that you'll have the opportunity to get to maybe 285 games by the end of the season. Thanks for doing this, and good luck.
Awesome. Thanks, Dante.
Speaking with Regina Pass forward Jace Egland as this road trip continues. Their stop is here in Portland, Oregon, as they get ready to take on the Portland Winterhawks. My name is Dante DiCaria, and Jace, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about a couple of the things that you've learned playing, some different style of opponents so far on this U.S. road trip. What are some of the things that you've learned so far? Just tell us a little bit about what you thought of the road trip.
I think obviously starting in Spokane, I think it was a really good test for us, but we needed to get that win. They weren't very big. They were a more skilled team that I thought. Then we got to Seattle and Tri, and they're big. They really used their bodies and physical play to wear us down, and that's what they've done. We've got a few guys feeling it still from those games. Obviously, with Everett, they kind of have a mixture of everything. Spokane, Seattle, they've got fourth lines that like to hit, skill guys who are really skilled, and they tie it together really nicely.
It seems like the style that maybe Tri-City, Seattle, some of those teams, like the style that they play is kind of similar to how you play the game. The likes of yourself, Shea Rollison, Mathis Paul, like the guys that are really kind of checking forwards. Do you feel that you match up well against those types of teams that kind of play similar style of game where you guys, forecheck, hard check, do the little things right?
Well, I think with games like that, the third line, fourth line guys are kind of the ones that are going at each other, right? Like those are the tight games, the 2-1 games, the 3-2 games that, we essentially lose by a goal, right? That's one bounce off a skate. That's one hard guy going to the net. So really, I think those lines in the bottom six are really the guys kind of carrying some of the trust in those type of games because that's how they play. They shouldn't deviate because that's the type of game that the crowd wants to see, the coaches want to see, right? So really, it's about bringing energy each way. Like their third line, fourth line on Seattle was built to get energy for their team, and if we can do that back, it kind of helps us get momentum and go right back at them.
Well, then, what's it like seeing a young player like Shea Rollison who really doesn't deviate away from that plan and just the style of game? Like, for example, I know, like, maybe similarly I can compare the two of you. I would say that maybe he's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. But for you, like, you were always a goal scorer at the U18 level. Like, this guy was always a 30-plus goal scorer at the U18 level in Winnipeg. He comes here and, like, he has to change his game a little bit, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know if you had to change your game a little bit as well. Do you see, like, maybe some of the comparisons that I'm, trying to make as younger guys that are trying to, play a specific role that the coach is looking for?
Yeah, for sure. I think with Rolly coming in, it's. I think he's talked to me a bunch. He asked me how I transitioned. I think it is a little bit different. He started the year with us, right? I started in AAA, so I kind of got to live on the high side
For a bit,
for a while.
Yeah.
He came right into us, so I think it was kind of, I don't want to say a wake-up call for him because I don't think that's what it was, but it kind of just took some time of realization for him to change from, God, I'm not scoring, to how can I stay in the lineup, right? Like, that's kind of the thing that I went through at the start of the year. I wasn't too worried about the points and the goals when I first got here, and I don't think he should be either. No. But it's things like the PK, like hits, puck battles. Like, that's what he needs to be focused on, and I think that's what he has been focusing on. And then the other day he was talking about how he's not scoring, and I just told him, like, you're not here to score, right? You're here to find your role and stay in the lineup. And so next year, the next 2 years, you can be scoring, but everyone goes through the same thing. So that's kind of what I just told him. Like me last year, took like 14 games for me to score my first goal, right?
Vancouver.
In Van, against Matthew Hutchison.
Yeah. 5-hole, I remember that.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of getting in his head a bit.
Yeah.
But I think with the player role he is, he's so determined on getting better.
Yeah.
And I don't think if Hoffer has to tell him to play a different role, I don't think Rolly's the player to ever get mad at Hoff or ever get disappointed with his play, because whatever he gets told to do, he's going to do to the best of his ability.
Well, Jace, everybody speaks so highly of Shea, from Ryan, Kenny, Brad, management, and even myself. I try to give those type of players like a lot of credit, even Day Sturkatch, Mathis Paul, like some of the other guys that don't get maybe the credit that a Caden Brown would get because he puts the puck at the back of the net more than them. But, last year I think you had 7 goals. You played pretty well towards the end of the season. But, this year your role is obviously to be a big penalty kill guy, using your speed, finishing checks, etc. But, I feel like you do have a little bit more offense left in the tank for yourself. You've had a lot of breakaway opportunities as well. Do you feel that maybe the goals will come if you keep doing the little things right and playing the right way?
Well, I think it's almost like a team thing. I honestly don't even think we deserve to get these goals at the chances I've been getting, right? I think if we're doing other things right, it's kind of like team karma type thing. But obviously, if those chances still come, they're bound to come, to one to drop, right? I do think that the way we've been playing, it's been hard on some guys, and me included. Like, we lose that game 2-1. I have a penalty shot and 2 breakaways, essentially, right? But really, I don't think we played good enough in the first period to win that game, and I did take some of the fault on me there at the end of the game, but at the end of the day, like, they had 20 shots in the first period, and they outplayed us for maybe over half of the game. So in the end, the chances are me individually, but I think it's still team karma and us not being ready to start the games.
So as you look at the next 2 games, I know it's one game at a time, Jace, but you have Portland in front of you. They're a team that likes to play some run and gun. They can play a little bit loose as far as they really like to go for offense. Like, they can really put the puck in the back of the net. So how important is it to not cheat, stop on pucks, do the little things right in a game against Portland when you know that they're going to try to, score off the rush and try to generate as many chances as possible?
I think coming into Portland, it's going to be like a Brandon game.
Yeah.
Edmonton, maybe a little bit of Saskatoon, but mainly Brandon. I think they're a really cheating team. They want to play a race back and forth up and down the ice, odd man rushes, because they have the skill to capitalize on those. And I think they're going to be okay with having that odd man rush game back and forth. So I think if we need to have a third guy high, for sure, 100%. And I don't think cheating back at them is the way to go. That is never the right way, because cheating isn't going to counter cheating, I don't think. I think patience on the forecheck, because if they're going to be blowing the zone and we can predict their plays, I think we can turn some pucks over and go back at them with some odd man rushes.
Okay, last question before I let you go. What was, your time in Seattle like, especially Sunday, going down to the fish market and seeing downtown Seattle? Was that kind of a memory that, you'll remember for the rest of your life, having that opportunity?
Well, I think it's really good to have a day off in here, especially being in the States, right? I don't remember if we had a day off in BC last year or like a full day off like we did this year. And I just remember waking up that morning and the guys went for breakfast and it was still all down and stuff. Like, we just played Seattle, we lost. There wasn't many smiles in breakfast, right? But like the next day after the day off, when everyone hung out with each other and we all went for supper at the what was it? It was the
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. Spent some more time together, right?
Couple practices,
right? The next days, there's just everyone's pepped up, right? It just helps so much to ease tension and pressure. And when we have each other as tight as we are this year, unlike last year, I think, it just helps in situations when there's tension with the coaches and stuff. I can look to other players to kind of help me through there, which I think is just so important, and that's built through the days off.
Awesome stuff. Well, good luck the rest of the road trip. Good luck in Portland, and I guess we'll talk again soon.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, Dante.
Pleased to be speaking with Regina Pat's rookie forward Liam Pugh after, scoring his second goal of the season, first since the season opener. Liam, I know it wasn't the result that you guys were looking for. You guys were obviously playing a little bit shorthanded in that 7-2 loss to Portland, but for yourself, it seemed like you had, one of your better games. You've been playing some really good hockey on this road trip. What are some of the things that you've learned so far in the trip, and how do you feel about your game so far?
Yeah, no, I led individually. I've been playing some pretty good hockey. Obviously, it's hard when we're not getting the results that we want and feel like we should be getting. But no, I feel like I'm playing pretty well. But I hope we can start getting some wins here.
You picked up your second goal of the season yesterday against Portland. You hit a couple of posts, I believe, against Everett and some of the other games as well. Seattle, I thought you had a really good game as well, playing on the power play too. With the opportunity that you have at hand, how motivated are you to really show, how you can play up in the lineup, especially with a lot of the guys out of the lineup? And do you feel that you kind of have to carry the load offensively with a lot of the key players out right now?
Yeah, no, totally. I think it's obviously good to get some opportunity here, be on the power play and stuff. It's obviously I'm good, gives me some more chances to be able to put the puck in that, which I think is good. But yeah, no, it's good to get this opportunity to keep getting chance. Hopefully can get another few with the opportunity, but no, it's been good and hoping to keep the offensive role going.
Chatting with Liam Pugh, what have you learned about some of the teams playing in the U.S. division? This has got to be a pretty cool experience for yourself. Now, you grew up on the West Coast in Langley and Vancouver, so you might have been familiar with just the crowds and stuff like that, but what's it like to experience like Portland, Everett, Seattle, and just how involved the fans are in the game?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Like, even just the national anthems, how loud they get and stuff. It's pretty cool. I've been to an Everett game before in playoffs, and that was it was like sold out crowd, so that was pretty cool. But no, it's pretty special to play in front of these crowds, sold out crowds, and these US fans are pretty sweet.
Why did you go to Everett?
Because my coach is a scout for, my old coach was a scout for Everett, so he
Okay.
got us tickets to the game.
That's pretty cool. How far of a drive is it?
Like an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
So your family, I think you said you had up to like 30
Yeah.
family at both the Seattle and Everett game.
Yeah.
Like when you, for the first time in your WHL career, have that many people close to you watching you at a much bigger stage compared to U18, does it motivate you a little bit more? Like what's the mindset going into those games, knowing that you have your mom, your dad, and a whole bunch of close ones watching you live for the first time?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Obviously, their first chance to watch me this year, and my first time seeing most of them since the start of the season and since summer. So it was pretty special, those 2 games. Obviously, wish we could have won and maybe scored one, but no, it happens. But no, I just treat it like any other game. Obviously, they're family in the crowd, but it's just another game, so you just got to treat it like that.
Speaking with Liam Pugh of the Regina Pats, I wanted to ask you about your brother Landon. He's now playing kind of close to you, I guess about 6 hours away. I was talking to your dad, and he said that him and your mom were actually going to go watch him play. That was kind of the next trip. But is it kind of worked out that way, where both of you guys are playing in the Prairies? And just to tell the fans out there, Landon's playing in Selkirk in the MJHL. So I know you guys are not close, but I guess close-ish. How is he enjoying his time in Selkirk?
Yeah, no, he's really enjoying it. My dad's there with him right now, and it's actually his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Landon.
Yeah, but no, he's really enjoying it. He's doing really well as well, so it's good to see him succeeding.
Have you watched any of his games like online or anything?
I have. I watched quite a few. The one game I watched, he got a hat trick, so I might have to keep watching him.
Is there a chance that maybe he can come watch you play in Brandon at some point this year? Is that something that you've maybe talked about?
Yeah, there's definitely a chance. If he doesn't have a game that night, I'm sure he'd come down, but yeah.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your battles and just how you guys grew up. Were you guys always kind of playing maybe on the same team growing up? And, did you guys ever play with each other in spring hockey? Was that ever something you did before playing at the U18 level last year?
Well, actually, the U18 level was our first time ever playing together on the same team. We obviously are on the ice with each other every day in summer and all that stuff, but U18 was the first time being on the same team as him, so that's pretty sweet.
Is the chemistry like the Sedin twins, or what is it?
Yeah, I think it was pretty close. Might even be better.
All right, sounds good. Awesome stuff. Well, good luck today, Liam.
Thank you.
Pleased to be joined with Rylan Pearce, who's one of the newer members of the Regina Pats and is obviously experiencing, some familiar faces and some familiar places as well. Rylan, thank you so much for taking the time. You're going to be playing against your former team on Wednesday. It was just a week ago that you were currently an Everett Silvertip. Now you're a member of the Regina Pats. Before we talk about just your nerves and maybe, things coming into that game, what's the transition been like for you? How have you enjoyed your time in the last week with Regina?
It's been smooth. Lots of good guys around here. Close with a lot of guys. Grew up with a lot of guys. When you have 13 Saskatchewan guys on your team, it's pretty easy to come in and pretty much be right at home. It's nice. Played one game at home, and lots of family came out and supported me, so that was a good change. But no, it's an easy transition, that's for sure.
You're one of 2 players on this Pats roster that comes from Martinsville, Saskatchewan. Former Pat, Braden Barnett, close friend of mine, now a member of the Regina Cougars, is somebody that you know as well. But Cohen Clausen, were you familiar with him at all coming into this?
Yes, I was. His dad actually drafted me in the SJHL draft. But no, my best friend, I was around Cohen all the time when he was growing up. Close with the family's close with the family, so no, he's a good kid and I'm happy to be around him more.
You also know some former Everett Silvertips that are current Regina Pats players. You would have obviously played a little bit with Julie Mays and obviously Caden Brown. You guys are the same age, so you guys would have both been 18-year-old players on the Everett Silvertips. So when you first got acquired by the Regina Pats, was Brownie maybe one of the first guys that reached out to you?
Yeah, Brownie was. No, he's a good guy. Was close with him when we were in Everett, and he reached out to me, and it's been good.
All right, Rylan, I just wanted to ask about maybe your nerves and just like your thought process going into that game against Everett. From what I understand, we've had a couple of days here in Seattle, so you've had the chance to obviously reconnect with your billet family, and I'm sure that place holds a really special place in your heart, given that you guys had a lot of success on the ice, but I'm sure you built a lot of relationships off the ice as well. Who are you most excited to see on Wednesday night?
I'm excited to see them. 2.5 years there. It was definitely weird going back to the billet house last night, and seeing my room and not me in it. But it was good. I love them and love the Silvertips. So.
How tough was it to kind of depart from Everett? You know, it's only been a week, so it's still pretty fresh for you. But on the other flip of the coin, it's got to be nice to be playing close to home for your final year, right?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be closer to home. It's weird, that's for sure. Especially a couple days after we're back in the States, kind of just where I left. But no, I'm excited to play against the Silvertips. It's going to be weird being on the other side, but again, being closer to home to finish my final year with family support, it's going to be huge for me.
What separates the Silvertips organization from the rest of the WHL? I've talked to a lot of people in this U.S. division over the last week or so, and they said like they're in a class of their own right now, and they have been for a while. And you know this, being now alumnus of that program, they've never missed the playoffs since 2003. That's since the franchise started. They've had now 11 40-plus win seasons. You've been a part of those. 2 of those 40-plus win seasons, and they're obviously well on their way to potentially winning 40 or 50 games this year. So what is that culture like? Like, what did you learn the most being a part of that organization?
Showing up to the rink every day ready to work, and honestly, they don't do anything special. They're the same people as what we have in our room. It's just their buy-in. It's to a whole nother level. They're willing to do the extra work. And the group of guys they have in there it's something special, and I was glad to be part of it for the last 2.5 years. And I'm looking to bring my experiences and my knowledge from those 2 teams and bring it here and hope to get to the playoffs and win some more hockey games.
Yeah, it seems like the nucleus, the 3 20-year-olds that are now here for the rest of the season, yourself, Caden Brown, and Efren McNutt, bring a lot of different leadership styles to the team, to some of the younger players that are going to be important pieces moving forward. For example, there's 2 15-year-olds on the team right now. So, Rylan, tell us a little bit about your leadership style, your play style, and what you bring to the Regina Pats, both in the room and on the ice as well.
I'm a hardworking guy. I'm willing to do the hard things that people might not notice. I'm willing to make that hit, make that block. I'm really willing to put the team first. I'm not so much of a points guy, but I'm a 200-foot guy that will do anything that the team needs. And in the room, I'm willing to say what I want to say. It's important for the young guys to hear things, and from my experiences, that's what each team needs, is someone that's vocal and can tell them what they need to hear.
Speaking with Rylan Pearce, now a member of the Regina Pats, a lot of people might not know this, but you were involved in one of the biggest trades in WHL history. Your rights, originally with Kamloops, that's who you were actually drafted by, was traded along with Howell and a couple of other draft picks, I shouldn't say a lot of first-round picks, and one in which ended up being Landon DuPont, to the Everett Silvertips in exchange for Olin Zellweger. Tell us about that day. I don't know, there was a lot of rumors going on that Kamloops was going to be getting Zellweger. Were you kind of shocked to see your name on social media at that time? Take us back a couple of years ago.
So a couple of years ago, I was sitting in Flin Flon. Didn't really think I was going to be part of the deal because they said I was going to be part of their long-term process. And then I got a phone call the morning of, and from my agent, and he was just like, yeah, you're going to be moved to Everett. Everett wasn't necessarily a contender at the time. I think they snuck in the 8th or 7th spot, and they got swept or lost in 5 in the playoffs. But no, I was just it was a shocking day. I mean, kind of the first time ever being traded, and on the deadline day, and I kind of made the joke to a couple of my buddies was, I'm 0-1 on the deadline day, and no, but I was super excited, especially Everett had a lot of younger guys, and Kamloops obviously wanted to make a push for the Memorial Cup, and I wasn't really a part of the Blazers that much, but I was in Flin Flon, and was super pumped for the following year to be a Silvertip.
Okay, last question before I let you go. I've had this conversation with Colton Bridgman and Ellis Mayette about, what it's like, maybe your advice to a younger person, a younger player, whether they're 14, 15, 16 years old, that might feel discouraged when they don't make their AAA team, or they don't make AA, or they don't play in the Western Hockey League at 16 or 17 years old and have maybe a little bit of a different development path. I would say you probably fall into that category as well, because you didn't play in the WHL until your 18-year-old season. What's your message to anybody that might be listening to this, or future young athletes out there, that if you continue to put in the work and do the little things right, you will be rewarded one day.
Yeah, like you said, if you always just work hard and do what you can and control what you can, I think good things are ahead for you. You might get set back, but it's the way you bounce back. And I think for me, that's the biggest thing I learned when I was 16 and 17. And in the leagues that you don't necessarily want to be, all your buddies are making the jump and doing things that you want to be doing. But in all seriousness, it's what you do and how you think of it is kind of the biggest thing I've taken away. It's the day-to-day attitude that I've learned. Each day is a new day.
Yep.
Each day is a new opportunity, and then you just got to put your head down and do what you can.
Awesome stuff. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again for Dante giving us those interviews and trying to give some substance to this episode.
Oh man, I was so hoping to have a win to talk about, but
Yeah, I know, right? And we had one player interview. We had one player
two bad
interview,
games was bad enough, but then the third, just like,
yeah, and we didn't want to bury one of our sit-down interviews in this episode
so
because
we'll hold on to that for next week maybe, or the week after, depends.
So, because obviously this episode isn't going to get listened to as much as some of the other ones. Obviously, we even seen last week the numbers weren't as good, but I mean that's what happens when the team isn't doing as good. The numbers aren't as good, and it's understandable. So, but yeah, so talked about the week coming up. So we got Brandon coming into town. So like I said, they're just ahead of the Pats in the standings, a couple games in hand. So what's there? They're 5-5 in their last 10. So they're still there. They had that slow start, but they're coming out of it, right? Like
Yeah.
So that's a team that the Pats have played already. They did lose out, rough one in Brandon. They beat them here, right? I think. Now things are. It's been a while. I can't look at the schedule very easily.
You can't look at the schedule at all, pretty much.
No, this schedule page is horrendous. Yeah, they beat them 6-4 here, and then they lost the 8-5. Was it?
Yeah, 8-5.
And then they lost 3-2 in that shootout game here in Regina.
So they can play with them. So.
Yeah, they can play with them. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully they got some healthy bodies back. And then Saskatoon, they're 14-11-2 for 30 points, sitting in fourth place. Haven't seen Saskatoon at all this year. Actually, speaking of those two teams, it was kind of an interesting trade. Dominic Peter went from Brandon to Saskatoon. From the outside, from my perspective, that trade, I don't know, Brandon was hoping to do something this year, so that was an odd trade. And he's a good goal scorer. It was kind of odd, I thought, for them to trade.
I think they were
Saskatoon.
thinking they were getting a 20-year-old back that isn't there this year. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and him being the import too, right? So
Yeah,
a two-spotter.
two-spot guy. So
Right.
maybe that's why. I'm not sure, but I think they thought they were getting a 20-year-old back. I think Manti maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But
and that didn't pan out, and yeah. So I mean,
and losing
Saskatoon.
McQueen for Brandon losing McQueen so late when they weren't expecting it, I guess. So
that too, yeah, that doesn't help, right?
I know he's not 20, but they probably figured, well, he'll come back and supplement the offense or whatever, score some goals. So
Yeah, for sure, right? Like he didn't play with them basically all season last year.
yeah.
So they were expecting kind of big things from him. Saskatoon does have 3 imports. I couldn't find the third one, but the other guy, because they have Lewandowski and then Peter and then this Will Hoft. But he's an 07, but he's only got 1 goal. But yeah, so Saskatoon. I mean, Cooper Williams. What has he got this year? He had a really good season last year. He's got 11 goals in 25 games. As a 17-year-old, he had I don't know how many goals as a 16 last year. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
So they're a pretty good team. So it's first seeing them. Obviously, it's going to be in Saskatoon, so I won't see them in person. But hopefully the Pats can make that a game, and hopefully
like
get
I
some
said,
points
hopefully
out
they
this
can
weekend.
right the ship.
Yeah,
Get back on track, get healthy, or if they can't get healthy, get bodies. Do what they got to do to try to pull out of this slump. I think this is a rough golf thing, so hopefully they can get going.
Yeah, and then the week after, you got 2 games, and it's the Christmas break. Right, you got Kelowna in on the 13th, Saturday the 13th, and then PA's in town. So that's a tough game right there to finish off the
And Kelowna's been
pre-Christmas.
hot lately too.
Yes,
So-
Kelowna was. They really struggled at the start, and people are like, oh, Kelowna, they're hosting the Memorial Cup, and they're so bad. And like you look at them now, they're 12-8-3-1. Like that's
Yeah.
not bad. Like obviously missing guys off the start of the season, like Ginla at Pro Camp and Pro Games. He's obviously going to be their key guy. Like he's played 15 games, he's got 13 goals, 13 assists, right? So
Yeah.
like they'll come around. Obviously he missed a lot of time last year. He only played 21 games last year, but
And losing their big key acquisition this year, Kettles, hasn't changed
That-
anything yet. So
yeah,
that's interesting.
that's an interesting thing. Yeah, now you bring that up. They're not too happy about that trade. They think he was damaged goods. I don't know, because he got hurt at Pittsburgh camp, I think, and then he came back to Swift Current, and then he played, and then they traded him. So yeah, the Bruce Hamilton, the Kelowna GM, was not too happy about it. So I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything.
No, nothing yet.
Nothing yet of if there's going to be some reimbursement of not funds,
I don't
but
know.
of draft picks or the
Compensation.
compensation. So we'll see what happens there. That was interesting. But so I don't know like who signs off on that stuff. Obviously Pittsburgh is probably involved. I'm sure Kelowna talked to Pittsburgh about the injury, and so who knows? Like it's quite the drama right there. So see what happens and see what happens later. But yeah, I don't know. There's obviously been some trades that kind of get rescinded. We've seen that already with the
Yeah.
Pats. But I mean, those are minor deals. This was a pretty big deal, right? Like,
Massive deal.
so, but yeah, so that's next week. Kelowna's in for their biannual visit, and then
Teddy bear toss.
and it's Teddy Bear Toss. Yes, so we'll bring that up again next.
Make
next
sure you
week.
bring your teddies, Chris.
Yeah, I will definitely. So, but yeah, as for this week, just hopefully they can get back on the bus here, back on the train, and play some good hockey and kind of get back into the swing of things. But yeah, that's about all I have. What else you got, Kevin?
I
for this
got
week?
nothing. I got nothing.
Nothing else. So yeah, well, with that, we should get out of here. We rambled enough for a rough week, but hopefully you enjoyed the interviews. Thanks again to Dante for shooting those over to us and putting some substance into the show. So, but yeah, with that, we'll see you at the rink this weekend.
Take it easy.